Hi, I'm Maggie Sawant with UBTV News, and I'm at Reclaim the Night. Reclaim the Night is a march organised by Bristol SU Women's Network, and it has been running for decades now, and it serves to show that gender-based violence will not be tolerated on campus or anywhere.
I came to the march today because as a 19-year-old I find it really disheartening how many women I already know who have been raped and how many of my friends will have their own individual stories. 1.something% of cases get prosecuted, and that's only the ones that actually go forward and are able to feel that they're able to speak. There are so many things that we sort of find really terrifying that men wouldn't even think of, just out of pure ignorance. So sort of having to check that your friend's okay in a club if you see them talking to someone you don't know, going home, like always having to sort of send that text so people know you're home safe. Like, it's things that are so sort of instinctive for us that really shouldn't be.
So I think that a lot of people think that feminism is an issue that's already been addressed, that we don't need people to be out here saying what they think the issues are and how we think we can address them. The reality is that, like, still I'm much more at risk than my brother is walking home at night. I think Reclaim the Night really spoke to me because it is about making it's the night and like the streets a safe place for women. We shouldn't feel scared walking home alone. We shouldn't have to pay for Ubers to get home alone. Street harassment should be illegal, which it isn't. I've had personal experiences where I've literally told police that I'm being sexually harassed and they've ignored me. There are still problems, and until there are no longer problems, we won't stop.
Why is Reclaim important?
Well, feminism is still such a massive issue in women's rights, and we're in such a position of privilege here to be able to do something about it. So it's been so nice tonight, especially to see so many people come together who care about this cause.
What can men do to help?
Men have to be allies in this as well. They have to stand up for things. They're very much involved in this because feminism is also a men's issue.
What inspires your poetry?
I guess personal experience. Also, I was rubbish at keeping a diary when I was little, so I never did it. And then when about 4 years ago, I just started to write my feelings down, and then I just started to try and write them poetically because I took English at school. Was always into Shakespeare and English and stuff. And then I showed my friends, and then they were just you should start performing this.
They come in colours and dances to be chosen for sexual selection, and the females are picky and careful. When bees mate, they only do it.
So then that's kind of what kick-started it. I looked for events in Birmingham. I looked at YouTube's button poetry and all the kind of different artists. Yeah, it started off as just venting.
Walking through the streets at night is obviously so important because that's traditionally a space where women would feel uncomfortable or would feel unsafe. So we want to try and address the gender inequalities in that.
Reclaim is the most important. I think it just brings people together who feel the same way. It brings people together to feel empowered. And yeah, I mean, someone said it tonight when we were out by the Victoria Rooms. It's kind of the only night that you can be out marching the streets and feel safe, which when he said that, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that's so true. So many other nights you walk around with your key between your knuckle, and tonight's the night that we all get together and we feel safe and we feel empowered walking the street.
And could you tell me a bit about what your organisation does?
Yeah, so I'm the founder of Bold Voices. We deliver education on gender inequality and rape culture, primarily in schools, but at the moment we're trying to bridge that gap between schools and universities. So we're trying to get young people prepared for university, prepared for the culture that they might experience, the things that we know that they are highly likely to experience, and we feel like if we get them talking and understanding these issues earlier, then we can start to tackle it before they even get there.
I'm with Shira Army, chair of the Women's Network. Are you impressed with last night?
I am very impressed. I didn't actually have a lot of expectations just because it was a Sunday night, and I knew usually Reclaim would be on a Friday and a Saturday, although we did move it for a specific reason that Jewish students actually can't attend the march on a Friday because it's their holiday.
What does Reclaim mean to you?
So it's more about sort of taking back the authority that I sort of take in my life. So I grew up in quite a conservative family that didn't really support women like going out of sort of the boundaries set by culture and society. I don't think it's really like touched upon like the past few like Reclaim the Night marches. And like, for example, like from my perspective as a bi woman, like bi people actually face like the high rates of domestic violence compared to like people of like other sexualities. I sort of like wanted to bring attention not just to LGBT circles but also to like BME circles. I think I'm the first women's network chair that identifies into like all liberation groups in the uni, and I just sort of like wanted that to come across in like all my events.
What's been your favourite Reclaim event this year?
The Women's Taster. I know I should say the march, but like if it was Women's Taster Day, it's sort of like the flagship event, so we've never had anything like it.
What else does it have planned for the academic year?
So we're feeding into the SU's Respect campaign, which is a consent awareness campaign, and that's for all genders. So anyone can apply to be a Respect ambassador, and you'll get bystander training. We're also feeding into Bold Voices, which is a charity from London. They're doing consultation with students on their charity that basically like works with the government on like shaping government policies. We're also organizing International Women's Day in Bristol with loads of like Bristol groups, so Bristol Sisterhood and the Women's Strike group. The uni actually has not like amazing policies surrounding sexual assault. So there's the report and support tool, but they don't really clarify like if you will remain anonymous, because they do share info with the police, and like for a lot of survivors, I'm sure like loads of survivors can relate, like sometimes you do not want any police involved, and sometimes you do want to remain anonymous because it's report and support and not really like preventative. So there's nothing that the uni actually actively does to make sure that these kinds of like incidents don't happen. So it's mostly the SU like working on preventative measures like bystander training, for example, and making sure clubs sign into the Ask Angela thing. The Ask Angela thing is where women can go to the bar and say, "Oh, can I ask for Angela?" and then and then they'll be taken to a safe place.
What can men do to support the gender equality cause?
So I know the Women's Network, like you genuinely can't be part of the Women's Network as per like SU regulation, so it's just for women, but men can join the Feminist Society, and I am very close to the Feminist Society committee. Like we do so many collaboration events, and we're happy for like everyone of any gender to get involved. They can also help like promote Women's Network events. Male Allies also standing up for women.